Welcome to the Founders Odyssey podcast, where we create an environment for founders to thrive through education, inspiration, and a supportive community. My name is Nathan Byrd, and I will be your host today. Our special guest today is Billy Bateman. He is the co-founder and entrepreneur of a fast-growing company called ChatFunnels, a digital conversion analytics software. In addition to his passion for digital marketing, Billy is an avid outdoors enthusiast. With his love for helping people, his focus on creating the best customer experience, and building strong relationships, we are in for a treat today. Welcome, Billy, to the Founders Odyssey.
Awesome. Great. Glad to be here, Nathan.
Absolutely. Prior to our entry here into the podcast, we're talking a little bit about the outdoors. So let's just start with that. What got you started in, just playing outside, and really what is the importance of play in your life today?
Yeah. My growing up, every family vacation we took up until probably I was 12 or 13, we were going camping. So I just grew up doing it, as long as I can remember. Was big in the Boy Scouts actually, and my uncle was an executive for Boy Scout Council in Idaho, and so as soon as we were old enough, my mom was like, "Yeah, you and your brother, you're going to go work for Uncle David this summer at the Boy Scout camp." And so I did that in high school. Worked at the High Adventure Base as a whitewater guide. Kept working as a whitewater guide in college, and I love fly fishing, big game hunting, bird hunting. I have a bird dog I'm training. She's usually here in the office with us most of the days as well. But just always grew up doing it. I love the adventure aspect of it. Like some people, like they love to go to Disneyland on vacation, things like that. And that's fun. But to me, it's just kind of like, okay, we kind of know what's going to happen. I'm going to stand in line. I'm going to ride the ride. It's going to be awesome. And then I'm going to go stand in another line, ride another ride. Whereas if you go out fishing or on a backpacking trip, man, you never know what is going to happen when you do that. And sometimes it's miserable, it doesn't go as you plan, but you remember that. And the people that you're with, especially when you go through those miserable hunts. My brother and I went on an elk hunt last year where not in the forecast at all of a sudden we have a foot of snow on us. And we're just wondering, we're just like, dude, we got to get back to the vehicles because we are not prepped to hunt for 3 more days in the snow. But we'll never forget that, getting back off the mountain in the middle of a blizzard. So love it. It's something that's important though, outside of work. Like you have got to have passions, especially if you're going to be an entrepreneur, because it's tough. It's not all rainbows and butterflies. And you've got to have something outside of work that you're looking forward to doing, to keep you motivated in those times when it does get tough.
Yeah, let's touch on that now. I believe that, mental health has been a topic of conversation in a lot of things that we're doing here across the nation. And, there's a few things there. There's physical exercise, which is very important. And then two, really connecting with nature and just being able to get out, sometimes even taking a 10 to 15 minute break from work to try to get outside to actually, breathe fresh air and do things like that. So share with me how that's been instrumental. I know you did touch on just a little bit about your past, but how has it been instrumental, do you believe, in taking you to where you are today to allow you to have balance in your life?
Yeah, I think a big part of it is when like I go out fishing, even if it's just for, after work, an hour or two. I'm lucky to live in Provo, Utah, so mountains are just right there. Um, it's great to just like get away. You really, you're probably not listening to music or necessarily even with somebody else, and just think about what actually do you need to do, because it's easy once you've got a team. They're all trying to do their job and they'll pull you into like, hey, we need to get this stuff done. And it's easy to get kind of sucked into what your team wants done. But getting away, it gives you that chance to just really think about what do we need to get done to go to the next level or to achieve my goals, the company's goals, whatever it might be, and get away from everybody else. Just be out there in nature. It's awesome. It's awesome. I love to go when it's turkey season. We have a lot of turkeys around here really close, and I will just go out right before work every morning and take my chances for an hour or two. And man, and you can't listen to an audiobook or anything because it's very much uh, a hunt that you got to rely on your ears to hear them gobbling and coming in. So you've got to sit there in the silence and you know a lot of it is just silence waiting for those turkeys to come in, and you get a real chance to think about, okay, what do we need to get done? What are the priorities? And keep yourself moving forward.
Let's touch on silence and what I've gotten from you and things that I've experienced too in nature is you're able to silence the distractions. And many times in business, we really need to silence our distractions to allow us to look at our most important number in business and most important tasks. And for you founders out there, that's why this is so important to get out, get away, and to allow yourself to understand what your most important number or most important thing is, as opposed to getting bogged down into the intricacies of what business can do to you. Can you speak to that?
Yeah, actually, a few not that long ago, I was out and just doing a hike with my dog and thinking about things and then thinking back to some conversations that I'd had during the week with my team, with customers, with just some mentors. And one of the things is it's easy with all of this kind of minutia and different things like your marketing team, everybody works hard for the most part. And very few people like you come in, you give them a job, or they just gonna like mail it in, is what I've found if you give them like, hey, here's what we need. But it's easy to get distracted from the one number that does matter, which is like for us as a software company, it's revenue. And then after that, profitability, like almost hand in hand. Like, are we driving new revenue and are we profitable? Um, and sometimes it's uncomfortable with your team to have this conversation, but everyone knows it. But everyone needs to understand like everything we do is meant to drive revenue. Like your marketing team, like who cares about driving website visitors, driving MQLs, driving content downloads if that's not leading to sales opportunities and ultimately to new customers? Like, does it even matter? Like we ran a new campaign, we got a bunch of traffic, great. Did we get any customers? That's what I care about. And I try to make sure my team knows, whether it's the CS team, sales is the easiest because they know like, yeah, like my job is to close new deals. But even the dev team, like whatever we do, what we're trying to do is drive revenue either from new customers or to help our existing customers retain or expand.
Mm. Let's touch on entrepreneurship and what that means to you.
Yeah, man, it's a journey. I I didn't think I would be an entrepreneur early in my life. Like growing up, I thought I'd be either like a doctor or a lawyer, is what I thought I'd do. Then once I went to college, I realized I didn't really want to be an attorney. I'd already realized I didn't want to be a doctor my senior year of high school when I took an anatomy class. And every time you look at those pictures where they got like a body sawed in half, I just wanted to throw up. I was like, I cannot do this. um, but but I ended up going into real estate is what I studied for my undergrad, and real estate management and construction, and then working in commercial real estate for a while. And the great thing I learned there was my first job right out of school. They said, here are 7 properties. They're essentially like their own independent functioning businesses that you're going to manage for third parties. And I got an opportunity to learn about just running essentially like 7 small businesses all at once. Now I wasn't starting anything from scratch. It was just like, okay, let's keep these going. Let's grow them where we can and make sure we're making money for the investors. But after doing that, I realized you know what, these guys who took the risk to own these properties and to invest in them, they're the ones that are making the big money. And like I got paid a salary. It was fine. I knew what I'd signed up for, but decided I wanted more and started looking for ways that I could make more money.
Yeah, so it really, you like the challenge of entrepreneurship and
Yep.
the freedom, I suppose, that it does allow you to have, but also the creativity um, that it has. And I think a lot of people share a similar belief about that. You know, so you did in real estate. Now, where did you, or how did you end up in your current position?
Yeah. So when I was going to BYU, I worked for my uncle, Dave Elkington, who he had started InsideSales.com on his marketing team. And in there, I did a couple things. My main thing was I ran all of the paid search at campaigns, and then I would do a bunch of just like random little projects to help with whether it was like SEO or just straight up demand gen, which really wasn't a thing back then. But that's what we were doing, and got into marketing that way, and working with their product, which was an amazing product that went off on a huge tear, with their power dialer and the playbooks products. But when I went back to school to do my MBA, I wanted to get back into software. So I actually started a small business helping people get river permits, for the Middle Fork of the Salmon while I was doing my MBA, and went through the entrepreneurial incubator. It's called the Venture College at Boise State, which was an awesome experience. Learned a lot about entrepreneurship, even though the business didn't ultimately go anywhere. I think you learn a lot from your failures. So many things I learned. I'm like, yeah, don't do that again. Don't do that again. Do this, but do it better. Going through that experience. And then after I graduated, Dave called me and he said, I'm looking to invest in a few areas, and but we're going to start out as a service business before building any software to test the market and see what is there really a market, and can we build something unique and different. And that's how we got started. I said, yeah, let's do it. I didn't want to, the jobs I'd been offered, I knew I wasn't going to stick around very long if I took those jobs. So I said, let's do this, and let's take the risk.
Let's talk deeper about marketing and as well what that means to you as well. I know for me, it's one of those things where it gives you the keys to understand your customer deeper than probably anybody else, because you've got to really know who you're talking to.
Yep.
But I'd be curious to see what you have to say.
Marketing, it is the most interesting part of the business, and probably the most challenging. And then one of the interesting things is what you'll find, especially in a small business, is everybody thinks they're a marketer. Like, oh, we should do this for marketing or this or that. But I think you're right in that you've got to understand your customer first and what's the pain point that you solve for them. As much as you can say, hey, I hate buzzwords in marketing. And I'll when I see it in our materials from our team, I'll be like, yeah, let's cut this. It's just enterprise buzzword BS that doesn't really mean anything. So try to stay away from that. But I love marketing. It is the lifeblood of the business. You've got to be able to get on people's radars. Sales are closing those deals for you, but without a good marketing team, sales job becomes so much harder, and good messaging. And it's something you have to always work on. Like, you can be crushing it for a few months, and if you get stale, all of a sudden the market has shifted, and you were hitting your number for opportunities you got to source out of the marketing team, and then all of a sudden you're not. And I think where my role with chat funnels is unique is I run our product team, and then I work with the marketing team, and they report into me as well. But I'm able to work with them quite a bit because I meet with customers one or two a week to see how they're using our products, what they're looking for, what's new on their horizon. And then we can take that back to the marketing team and say, okay, we're seeing a shift here. and we can adapt product, and then marketing can follow right behind with, okay, here's the new messaging based on what we're seeing.
Based on what you're seeing from various customers that you either onboard or you currently help, what are some of the problems that you see that come up almost every time that you
Yeah.
guys are able to address?
Yeah, so there are a few things. One of the things, and all of our customers, we sell to B2B companies primarily in North America. So one of the things that we see is a universal problem is getting the right traffic to your website is number one. But number two is knowing who that traffic is, seeing did they show any level of intent while they were here based on what they did on the website. Did they look at our pricing page? Did they look at a certain number of pages? Did they interact with, a chat bot or a form to request more information? And we're seeing a lot of people don't have great insight into that. And that's one of the problems we help solve is we look into your CRM and we create a profile of your current customers and say, hey, based on this, here's the profile of your ideal customer that you seem to have the best chance of closing. Then when those companies come to your site that match that, we call it your ICP, we also get contacts from their buying committee. You know who typical influencers and decision makers are, and you give us those job titles. We'll go and say, okay, somebody from Domo came to your website. They looked at your pricing page. They looked at a few of your product pages. They were on there for 20 minutes, didn't end up interacting. But based on that, we see there was a decent level of intent for the contacts for the buying committee at Domo. Go out and put them into an email drip campaign or have your sales team start reaching out to them. That's one of the things that we help solve is making sure you know who you should be reaching out to based on some level of intent. And it's not just, hey, let's put together a list of people that we think could be a great fit. It's like, no, you've already seen they have some interest in you at some level. The next thing we do is engaging that traffic, and the speed to lead is key. What we found is, we have a chatbot as part of our product, but the real magic is looking and seeing who that is, mapping it up to an account owner. So somebody who's going to be the best person for that company that knows about them, where they are in your customer life cycle, and being able to engage them right away. So when you come to our website, if you're a current customer, our CSM team gets an alert saying, hey, somebody from Pack Size is on the website right now. And then if you decide you want to engage with them, it's going to be your CSM that chats right in with you, can talk with you, can answer questions. And it's the same for our customers. They can do that. And then also on the sales side of things, whenever a target account comes to the site, somebody in an open sales opportunity, the sales rep who owns that account gets alerted before they even interact and can be proactive in reaching out to them.
The future of marketing is growing rapidly, as you and I know, and we're seeing, of course, back in the day, it was newspapers, it was still billboards, and they use those today. But there's a lot of really, really clever things. There's AI, like you were talking about, to automate responses. There is, holographic ways to display certain products and whatnot. VR, the metaverse, all these different things. But where do you see the future going, and how have you guys implemented that into your current roadmap to success?
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of different technologies and tactics that are going to come up, that have come up recently, and we're going to see new things every day. But we believe people still buy from people for the most part. Like, unless it's something cheap and transactional, you want to engage with a person at some level. And so what we're trying to do is use automation so that you don't have to have an army of people to sell, to engage, to filter, to qualify, but then bring people in as soon as it makes sense to talk to them. And that's where you're going to see success. That's where we see success. Our customers that are crushing it, they prescribe to the same philosophy where it's use the automation to do some filtering, to get conversations started, And then as soon as they reach a trip point where we think we need to bring a person in, bring that person in right away to talk to them. That the companies that win, we believe this is what they're going to be doing, is they're going to be using automation to help them scale things, but still people to close deals, to take care of customers as much as possible. And we don't have patience to say, like, hey, I'm going to call in, I'm going to go through a phone tree and then get somebody who has nothing, who knows nothing about me or my business. We're really trying to help you bring in the right person who already knows Nathan or knows Billy in chat funnels and can talk to them and know where you are and what's important to you.
So, that's your inbound marketing. So let's talk a little bit about how you have seen in different companies either their flaws with their inbound marketing and various touch points that they've created,
Yeah.
or where they're failing and creating that perception of value for the customer that's inbound.
Yeah. So one of the things that I see that it drives me nuts is when they will put up some type of chat bot or live chat, and you say, hey, yeah, they're like, do you want to talk to somebody? You can talk to somebody. I'm like, great, I do want to talk to somebody. Let's just get my questions answered. It's not obvious from the website. And then the first thing they ask me, like, what's your email address, before they're going to let anybody talk to me. That just drives me nuts. And you're not going to get people to talk to you unless they're just like, I think this is my only option. You got to be willing to talk to people and give them some value before you get some of that information you want. I also think it's just lazy at this day and age if you don't have any type of live chat or a chat bot to help people, and it's just the old school forms, we'll get back to you. I mean, you can do so much better. I don't know of many businesses that are turning away business. So you should be making it as easy as you can to let people engage with you from your website.
Mm. That's good. Yeah. So they come to your website, they have a chat bot. You're saying quick to the lead, right? But make sure that it's, from a human, who
Yep.
actually can care, who can answer the questions, who can, be there to help them with their problems. I've seen that multiple times in companies too, where I was just treated as if I was just another number. And as you know, that doesn't really work, you know.
Yeah.
And you've experienced that as well, and it's interesting. So okay, we've got the future bright, but what are some things that excite you though about the future, and some things that you're testing right now?
Yeah, some things that excite me about the future of marketing is all of the data that we're getting. I feel like we got a lot of data over the last 10 years that we didn't have. And I think we're finally learning as an industry from marketing technologies how to really use that data and what data actually matters. I think often you'll buy like an intent tool or an ABM tool, and it'll give you these flags and be like, hey, they're searching for this or that. And maybe that matters, maybe it doesn't. But learning how do we bring in the intent data with what's actually going on your website, marry that to help marketing and sales teams really know who is expressing interest and should we be going above and beyond to engage with. That's something that I think we've gotten a lot better at, and we're going to continue to improve at. um, I think there's just going to be more ways to engage with people quicker, and we're going to have to get really good at that speed to lead and engaging with people quickly. If you're not good at that and you don't want to be good at that, you might think about finding a new job, because people want answers now. We're not willing to wait around even a day or two at this point. Like if I tell my team, hey, we need to find a solution for this, I mean, I want them to be coming within a day and telling me, okay, here are probably the options that we have, rather than waiting, a week to do a sales demo with somebody.
Mhm. Let's talk about the importance of systems within organizations, but also within your marketing, as well as the software, that you have. And maybe people out there are needing what you have, but let's talk about how important those systems are, what things that you have implemented into your company to make things easy, and what people can do that are listening to this podcast?
Yeah, I think it's important to have systems in place, and each organization, it's going to be different how you set it up. But I think it's always a good idea to be wary of the it's easy to buy a lot of tools. Like, oh, we need a tool for this. Let's buy a new tool for this. So let's buy a new tool. Like, it's so easy to buy tools now. Be wary of doing that, and stick to, here are the things that we actually can execute and execute well. As great as any piece of software is, you always need one or two people who actually know how it works, how to get the most out of it, kind of being that mastermind for it. Now, a lot of tools don't take that much time, but you still need somebody. Otherwise, it's just going to become shelfware, and you're going to end up, getting billed $500 a month for something you don't really use and then canceling. So, one of the things that we do for our customers is our implementation process is very thorough. We really try to make sure in that first 90 days, everybody is set up for success and ready to achieve their goals, as well as we do a lot of training with not just the admin, but the end users, because usually we have the sales team end up using the software as well. And if they're a local customer, we even just go over on site and say, okay, like, let's sit down with you guys for an hour or two, teach you everything you need to do. If they're not local, we do it over Zoom. And we find a lot of success if we're able to get people, just spend a little bit of time with them to teach them. And then they're like, oh, it's easy. I got it. Let's use it. And then when there are problems or feature requests they've interacted with us as people, and they're a lot more willing to just come in, submit that request, knowing who it's going to go to, and that we get back to them and let them know, okay, great idea, we're going to do this right away. Tell us more if we don't quite understand, and then tell them, okay, like, I think we'll do this. Here's kind of the time frame. So we love doing that. I think you got to have somebody for any system that really owns it and executes it. So with your marketing stack, I would just say be hesitant of adding too many tools, and just add the tools that really are going to provide value to you. Obviously, you need a CRM. I think everyone needs a tool like us that you can use to engage users on your website quickly and bring your sales team into the mix right away. Email marketing, I feel like if you're not doing email marketing, you're behind at this point. But everyone's got their own strategies, but I feel like those are the three basics that you gotta have. And if you don't have those, you're definitely gonna get left. Oh, SEO, just a basic tool to help you with your SEO would be the last. I would say gotta have it.
You were reading my mind. It's funny that you dove right into the, hey, here are the bullet points. We've got 1 through 4. But for everybody out there, let's just reiterate real quick on what those 4 important tools, like you were alluding to, would be.
Yeah. So number 1, CRM. Number 2, some type of engagement tool on your website, like chat funnels. Number 3 is email marketing. That could be as simple as like a MailChimp, or all the way up to Marketo or Eloqua or Pardot, something like that. And then the last one is an SEO tool. SEMrush is a great one. There are a lot of tools that just help you make sure you're staying off of Google's naughty list and getting the most out of your content.
That's perfect. I know a lot of people out there will find this very valuable, and you have shared quite a few insights and wisdom for us in the marketing department. So let's just dive into the company real quick, of where you see it going, the company you founded, and
Yeah.
really I know we talked about future and as far as the marketing tools and whatnot, but where do you see your company? Are you enjoying your culture? And what are ways that you feel that you can enhance that for a better company?
Yeah. So at Chat Funnels, what we help companies do is, our number one goal is help our customers make more money. Like, it's that simple. And we do that through a combination of technology and automation, and then bringing humans in to interact with people. So just to give you a really high level, what we do for our customers is, first, we're going to hook up to your CRM and help you identify your ideal customer profile When those companies come to your website, we're going to engage them with a unique experience based on where they are in the buying journey, and essentially fast lane them to your sales team, knowing these are your ideal customers. We'll also create unique experiences for your current customers, for your open sales opportunities, your target accounts, and you can create custom segments based on how you break down your customers. Help you with contacts from those prospect accounts that you're interested in working with, and then engage them quickly. That's really what we're after, is like whenever there's intent, our attention spans are so short now. My personal belief is that smartphones have given us all at least a little bit of ADD. So you got to engage people quick right away while you have their attention. Otherwise, you're going to lose out on deals. And that's our goal, is to help you to close more customers. And that's what our customers see. That's what we use, our own software. We use it as a big part of our selling process. And we found that speed to lead, the insights we can provide your sales team, even if they don't interact, help you to get those deals done a lot faster than if you just sit around and kind of wait for your customers to act.
So good, man. Like I said, with a wealth of knowledge, and there's a lot of people out there right now that are either building websites, or they have a customer base. They need to organize that customer base, they need to start automation, having drip funnels for their campaigns, understanding CRM systems, understanding SEO. I'm speaking from personal experience, as I have gone through that in many businesses. But I mean, we're just so thankful you took the time today to come on Founders Odyssey podcast. Share with us, because it seems that you've done the podcasting before, and you're very good at being able to articulate who you are, what you do, and how you're different. So tell the audience out there a little bit about your podcast and how they can get a hold of you.
Yeah. So our podcast, it's Digital Conversations with Billy Bateman. We talk mainly to demand gen practitioners in the B2B space, and what they're doing to drive demand for their organizations. So you can find it anywhere you find podcasts. Go ahead and look it up. They're usually about 20 to 25 minutes long. And if you want to get a hold of me and learn more about chat funnels, LinkedIn is the easiest way. Just connect with me on LinkedIn, send me a message. Happy to talk.
Well, once again, thank you so much for joining the Founders Odyssey podcast. And if you guys like today's episode, feel free to subscribe. We also have it's up on YouTube, as well as Spotify and other platforms. My name is Nathan Byrd, and we appreciate you. Thank you, Billy.
Thank you, Nathan.